Now you're not going to know what this is because it looks like a robot or something, but you might know who this is. This is our old friend Bruce Schwab, a Vendée Globe sailor, longtime anarchist, longtime ocean racer, rigger, delivery guy. Just about anything you can do with boats, Bruce has done it. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, man.
Listen, you know, I know you're doing some rigging work, and I know you just sold the Ocean Planet. You sad?
Yeah, in some ways I'm a little sad. I wish I could have done more with it, and the boat could do some more, but hey, I did all I could with it, and I can't complain. I had a great experience.
She was a cool boat.
No one was luckier than I am.
Yeah. Well, look, while you're holding this, and you guys, I want you to understand, what Bruce is holding here is the equivalent to, what, an 80-pound lead acid battery.
Yep.
And look at Bruce. He ain't a big guy, but he's holding this without any problem at all. This is less than half the weight of that same number of amp hours. Is that right?
Oh, it's a third of the weight of the same total capacity of lead, but it's a quarter of the weight of a lead battery that would have the same usable amp hours.
Right, because so much of a lead acid battery is just it stays stuck in the bottle.
Plus,
so explain, what is the chemistry in the battery?
It's called lithium iron phosphate.
Lithium iron phosphate.
Yeah, or LFP.
Now, how is that different from like the lithium metal hydride that we use in our cameras and stuff?
Or nickel metal hydride.
Nickel metal hydride.
Or lithium cobalt and stuff in camera and stuff. Those in large formats, so this type of size here, run the threat of what they call thermal runaway.
Okay.
When they start to get hot, they'll keep getting hotter until they'll blow up.
Make them too big and they blow up.
And then there's been a few cases in the marine industry you may have heard of batteries catching on fire. Maybe the PlayStation fire, you might remember that, going way back.
Yeah, sure.
Those lithium cobalt batteries. A little risky technology, but the reason these phosphate ones are becoming so popular in electric vehicles, electric cars, because they're safe.
And light.
Safe and light, you know, almost as light as lithium cobalt, but just really bomb-proof. The key thing is having the right battery management system to control the balancing of the cells.
And now that's all of our circuitry that we're looking at right here. That looks like it's sealed inside this little XM.
These are designed by Alex Mavet of Jennison, who I'm working with on these, who's addressed all of... I've been selling both Race Cell and Jennison lithium iron phosphate batteries. And Alex Mavet of Jennison is an MIT whiz kid that has really addressed the control issues and the safety issues with these to a level which
so I'm assuming this is all patented and proprietary.
That's a good question. I better you signed the disclaimer, right? Okay,
I don't sign nothing.
Non-disclosure agreement.
So now this is, and you told me before, but these are pretty pricey though.
Yeah, they are expensive. So if you're looking at a displacement vessel that doesn't have a huge battery bank or weight isn't an issue, these aren't the batteries for you.
Right.
If you're looking at an application where you have a huge bank and the weight's going to load your boat down too much, or you need to have fast discharge capability, still get your amp hours, they can charge and discharge really fast. You could charge this 100 amp hour battery 300 amps, no problem.
And how long? Let's say it's 50% discharge. How long does it take to charge it with a, 120 amp alternator?
Oh, well, 120 amp alternator would take it's straight.
Half hour.
Yeah, half hour, yeah.
And you're not losing so much because you've got such an advanced system.
Well, 120 amps it'll take you, if it's a 200 amp hour battery, less than a half hour. Now the last 10% you have to slow down a little bit, but that bulk rate charge up to like 90% of charge, they can charge. These cells are used in conversions to convert Toyota Priuses to plug-in hybrids.
Really?
With big battery packs, like a $15,000 conversion kit, so you can drive your Prius on electric power for 50 miles. You'll never pay for it really, but people like to do it. But they can charge one of those in up to 90% capacity in 15 minutes.
Wow.
If you have a charger big enough. Most boats don't have, chargers at that level. But now the hybrids are looking at these because the big battery banks that go run.
I can't believe how light this is. You're like doing arm curls.
Yeah. Actually, I need more weight to really get some exercise. I'll give you an example of where this application really paid off. Just recently, I sold a set to a new diesel-electric hybrid powerboat up in Maine, built by French and Webb, up in Belfast. Great place, great little boat, and they were going to use 1,000 pounds of AGM, so they could keep run on electric power only. That was a lot of weight. We gave them more usable amp hours capacity, and saved them 600 pounds.
Which it's a spiral then, because now you're using less power, and then, you know, I mean, so
Right.
it's an efficient spiral rather than an inefficient
It
spiral.
was an expensive pack of batteries, but to get 600 pounds out of the boat any other way would have cost more. So in that sense.
Now let's say I switch out my 2 batteries on my race boat for 2 of these and save myself 100 pounds. What does it cost me?
Well, 2 of these would be 200 amp hour kit with the controllers on the it's 5,000 to 6,000 depending on the load capacity that the controllers are set up for.
All right, that's obviously a big pill to swallow, but here's the question I have for you. That 5,000 to 6,000, is that going to get me something that lasts longer than lead acid batteries?
Oh yeah, you know how lead acid is rated for maybe 500 cycles or
Yeah.
so? These are rated for over 3,000
So,
at up to 80%
so
discharge
6
level.
times longer.
Yeah, and if you discharge them, say maybe 70%, which is still more than you're discharging the leads, you'll get sometimes like, they don't even know, some of them are going 5,000 cycles or more. Now in the marine business, to be honest, we aren't discharging them batteries that much.
Right.
You know, and the cars, electric vehicles, they discharge them all the time, so it really matters there.
Right.
So not every marine application is going to get that kind of lifestyle. You're talking like 40 years, you know,
Right,
I mean,
right,
the
right.
boat's going to be gone by then. So, but if you have high load applications where you're running a lot of power, let's say you want to run your air conditioning off batteries instead of having the generator on.
Right.
You can do that, and then when the generator is on, it can run at optimum capacity.
You don't have to sit there and turn it on for 6 hours to charge a bunch of
It runs
half-used lead
flat
batteries.
out. It's optimum capacity,
Yeah.
most amps per gallon to charge your bank of batteries because they can suck up the charge as fast as the thing can crank it out, and then it shuts off.
They don't get super hot. They don't. I mean, what's the?
The batteries themselves?
Yeah.
No, I mean you do want to have a temperature
I'm sure they
regulated
heat
charging
up, but I mean, if you ran that many amps through a lead bank, you start to boil. And
You have to watch and you have temperature regulation
Yeah.
with any battery system, but
Right.
they'll take charge so much faster. The safe level of charge for constant load is 3 times capacity. So if this is a 100 amp hour battery, you could charge this at 300 amps
Wow.
totally safely. Now I could take peak bursts even more than that.
Wow.
But 300 amps, not a problem.
That's great. Well, Bruce, where can people find out more about this?
Look at my website, bruceschwab.com.
BruceSchwab.com. All right, we love you, buddy.
All right, likewise.
Thanks.